Welcome back. If it has joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories this evening. Rainstorm destroys 84 houses in Dorowa village. Plateau State government takes inventory of damages. Abuja and Kano electricity consumers demand improvement in power supply. Ekiti governor woos voters ahead of the 2014 governorship contest. Says his performance is his testimonial. And the Vatican declares John Paul II and John the 23rd saints in front of a massive crowd in Rome. All our top stories can be found on our websites, ChannelsTV.com and on YouTube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, though, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We encourage you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions to share your reports, pictures, and your videos. Speaking of which, here are some of the pictures that you, our Eyewitness reporters, have sent in. Aduroja Olawale sent this in from Port Harcourt. It shows a queue at one of the filling stations in the city where petrol is sold at 120 naira per litre. The next picture, sent in by Gilbert Naji, shows the newly constructed Lagos-Badagry Expressway between Orile and Koka in Lagos. Finally, is this picture of a traffic gridlock along the road leading to Warri Refinery. It is popularly known as Shagolo. Yusuf Waziri, who sent in the pictures, appealing to the state governments to come to the aid of the road users. Thanks a lot for sending in those pictures and keep them coming. In other news now, Nigerians have continued to express frustration over the epileptic power supply in the country despite privatization of the Power Holding Company of Nigeria. As small business owners top the list of complainants as those who spoke to Channels Television are lamenting the high cost of providing electricity to run their venture. This special report looks at the power situation in the northern part of the country.
The sound of generators have become a regular feature in most commercial centers across the country. Like them or hate them, generators have become a necessity for businesses to thrive. Doris Ude is a fashion designer in Abuja, and she spends at least 3,000 naira fuel to power her generator, and getting the fuel comes at another cost.
Of late, we'll be having serious problem of light that you need to disappoint, that you have to disappoint customers because there is no fuel even in the filling station.
In Kaduna, electricity supply has been deplorable for these businesses. They also rely on generators as they get a maximum of 1 hour power supply on a daily basis.
Definitely the frequency of light in our environment, we have light as in 1 hour and then maybe 23 days, 23 hours of light in our environment.
In Mina, the story is not any different as small business owners lament the poor supply of electricity to boost their businesses.
What is there is they said the transformer blew a day before yesterday. So since then we have not been having light. Even though throughout yesterday we used generator throughout yesterday. And you can see today we are still going on with generator.
The level of deterioration in electricity supply in the country manifested in the just released NOI polls for power supply in the first quarter of 2014. And its findings showed that an average of 63% of Nigerians have not experienced any improvement in their power supply, as most of them enjoyed less than 5 hours of continuous power supply daily. The figure also showed that an average of 79% of Nigerians use alternative sources to boost their power supply.
The recent dip in power supply has been mainly due to inadequate supply of gas to the thermal gas power plant arising from recurring acts of vandalism on gas pipeline.
If we have 250 megawatts from here, it will be 215. I mean, it will enhance power supply within this axis, within the northwest, and connected to the grid. It will benefit Nigeria.
The federal government blamed the situation on sabotage and pleaded for patience and understanding from Nigerians. Although the Ministry of Power recently reported an improvement as power generation increased above 4,000 megawatts.
We have reasonable power supply that cuts across the nook and crannies of Kaduna. If the same result is attainable in other parts of the country, I believe there will be nobody that will dispute the transparency, the rationale behind the transformation, the President's transformation agenda on power.
Power generation may have peaked at above 4,000 megawatts, but it is little compared to electricity demands of the country, which has been estimated to be about 40,000 megawatts. Government is hoping to do more, and until that becomes reality, Nigerians will continue to rely on generators for their businesses and homes.
Staying with the power situation in the north, mixed reactions have continued to trail the disconnection of 33 kV wires of electricity in Kano State, northwest Nigeria. And while some acknowledge the fact that the electricity supply has relatively improved, others think that nothing has changed. In our community report tonight, we examine electricity supply in Kano and the disconnection of the 33 kV wires and its consequences on residential and industrial areas in the commercial city.
Mrs. Joy Ezimezie is a roadside computer typist in Kano. She says since the privatization of the power sector, she relies on generators for her business, and the cost of buying fuel has skyrocketed in recent days.
The light is not reliable at all. It's not really stable because owning of the gen and constant usage of the gen normally cause the generator to have problem. And sometimes you may even lose your customers because some of them will be impatient for you to do the work in the generator before you come back to type your work.
33 kV wire, otherwise known as Blue Line, was specially created for industrial customers of electricity, but has been hijacked by some privileged people in the society. And this is a big challenge for the sector.
One of the things that we need to do as part of our plan is to improve the network. The existing network, there's no way we can improve it, without going back to the design basis. The design basis is to ensure that all residential areas get their supply from 11 kV.
In any case, the disconnection of Blue is said to have added a boost to electricity supply for Kano industrial areas and provided a balance between the rich and poor in terms of electricity distribution. And so, every residential area in Kano has now been placed under 11 kV wires.
Disconnection is not aimed at discomforting other people. Disconnection is meant to ensure that there's an improved power supply. The line load now has drastically reduced. You can get supply from 33 to 11 kV, where a large number of customers are hooked on. In the past, when you go to 33 11 kV substation, you only find station service. Station service, that means there's no supply out of 11 kV. All the line load has consumed the power. But with this reduction of line load, that is by disconnecting the 33 kV blue lines, the 11 kV residential customers are now getting supply. In the past, some they may only get 1 hour, but a lot of people now registered about 15 hours, 12 hours supply. depending upon the supply from the national grid.
But for industrialists like Ali Madugu, the disconnection of blue lines and its subsequent redirection to industries has not changed anything. He believes that the disconnection of blue lines should be across board and not in some areas.
That policy is a good policy, but it has to be total. It has to be 100%, no exception. Because if you remove some, you allow some to stay on, there will be pressure again on you, the distribution company.
For Kano residents, especially those who rely on the blue lines, which of course provides almost 24 hours uninterrupted electricity, the reaction was mixed.
After the inception of the blue line, here we used to have light every day. But now this is the third day we don't have even a blink of light. And it really took us back. And to find a cold water to drink, it's very difficult.
The what? Blue line. Then what line is on now? Blue line have been disconnected, isn't it? I don't know the line that is on. NEPA never improved for one day, but now it's still the same.
Before that, there is no blue line. Honestly, we used to have lights. Let's say 24 hours.
But after the disconnection of the blue lights, we normally have lights now.
It actually takes courage to take painful decisions. Therefore, the problem Kano Electricity Distribution Company may face is the likely delay in fixing the 11 kV wires in areas where the 33 kV was disconnected.
The role of the federal government in the health sector based on the 1979 Constitution places it on a concurrent legislative list with the state government. However, the federal government seems to be taking the bulk of responsibility, leaving the state with few health workers, and this is affecting development in the state's health sector. During an interactive session at the Federal Medical Center in Umuahia, the Minister of Health, Professor Nubuchi Chukwu, explained that this anomaly can be corrected through better awareness and education. When the news at 10 returns, Kaduna State government secures $141.45 million Islamic Development Bank loan to finance capital projects. To join us again.